And why families struggle, number one, is division. One of the reasons many families are struggling is what? Somebody say division. Mark chapter 12, verse 25. Mark chapter 12, verse 25. Mark 12, 25. Quickly. It said, for when they shall rise from the dead, they shall neither marry. No, Matthew 12, 25. Sorry, Matthew 12, 25. Matthew 12, 25. 12, 25. It said that Jesus knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not. Say it like you mean it. Who is speaking here? Can I say this? It's not a curse. It's not a prophecy. As long as your family cannot be intact, there is a level you can never access. You keep struggling. Let me share mysteries with you. You may not accept me if you are traditional, but no matter the glory you think you are enjoying, there is a greater glory if the house can be put together. This is Jesus talking. He said, for a house divided against itself cannot stand. There are many times matters have met me as a pastor. I'll call the woman and say, madam, do me a favor. No matter how hot you are, don't get angry with your husband. Forgive him and keep crying on his behalf. Because if you take hold of bitterness, you have locked a portion of his door. There is, see, I started by telling you Satan is not that powerful. He takes advantage of every loophole to strike. To strike. To strike. I've shared the testimony with you here. For over a year, my wife were believing God for something. It wasn't coming. She was fronting it. And then it got to a point, she said to me, said, honey, I know you. There is nothing you set your heart to do that God does not honor you. He said, you have refused to give this thing attention. I said, honey, it's not true, but the truth is that I argued with her. But I went to think, I gave it a second thought. And before you know, I just gave myself to the matter. And then I think we had an agreement over the phone on that case. That the next day she sent me a seed and sent to our father in the Lord and said, I put a seal on this matter. And it wasn't too long. What we've been expecting just came without struggle. Why? Because there was an understanding. Satan's strength is this division that is happening in your home. Satan keeps sponsoring division. If you are recovering from backbiting or anger, there's another dimension Satan just bringing malice to the home. Let me say something to you. Angels cannot survive where the word of God is not upheld. If you want to enjoy angelic ministry, then let the word of God be alive in your family. Am I speaking to someone here? Division. You may not agree with me, but the truth is that there are some women who may not have been pregnant today because of the malice, the quarreling, the division that husband and wife are having. Satan has so programmed it that it is when you are in your ovulation that the quarrel will come. When you are in the sensitive part of your life, that's when unnecessary arguments keeps coming. Am I talking to someone? Number two, why family struggle is because of family evil men and women. Say, man's greatest foes are members of his household. There are some of you, your marriage is struggling because there is somebody who you are closer to than your wife or husband. Am I speaking to somebody here? And when the person you think you are sharing confidentiality with has a tendency of evil, your marriage will struggle. Church, one of the greatest disasters that can befall your home is a bad counselor. Bad counselor. Somebody will tell you, don't mind him, show him pepper. That's how you started showing pepper until pepper enter your own eye. But there's a God in heaven. Every one of you, pray against evil men and women in your family. Pray. As you pray, please exercise caution. Exercise caution. We grew up hearing, they told us that third party in marriage does not work, until Papa came and opened up to a fresh revelation that the truth about the issue, the third party you must ever consider in your marriage should be somebody who is a carrier of Jesus. Because when their wine finished, who did they go to? They went to Jesus. So every one of you must know that if your marriage must work, there is somebody who has the right counsel for you. Please stop exposing your husband. Stop exposing your wife. Talk to people who can bring solution, not to people who will complicate your situation. That's how you took your husband to your family. Finished him. That the value that he has before your family today is dead. No value anywhere. No value. That's how you took your wife. Took your wife. Let me say this. When I was getting married then, I married in the Anglican church. There's a man called Bishop Bada. While he was ministering, he said something. I've said it here in 1 or 2 marriages. He said, whether it was him or somebody got married, and in the early days of their marriage, the man's family came to greet them, and the woman cooked food for them. And then the food was full of pepper. So much pepper. I think pepper or salt, one of them. And while they were eating, they were like, mwah, 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 mwah. And he noticed their looks. And he said, what's the problem? And he said, He said, oh. He said, brother, when did you start eating salt and pepper? He said, oh, I've changed now. I now eat, I like pepper. I like pepper now. And he said, I forgot to tell my wife that it's not me she's cooking for, it's cooking for you people. We are sorry. What did he do? When they were gone, he went to the wife and said, what happened? The wife said it was a mistake. But imagine if he had told them, that's what I'm suffering in this house. Before they leave, you will hear, if anything happened to our brother, we will know that you are the one that used salt and pepper to kill him. You exposed her. One of the greatest things you can do for your spouse is to defend them. So with all due respect, I stand to be corrected if need be. If there's one person among, if there's somebody I can fight for in the market, if there were scriptures to fight, it's my wife. Say I told you. Number 3, why families struggle is when the man refuses to be a man indeed. When the head is sick. Look at 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 8. 1 Timothy chapter 5 verse 8. As it were. 1 Timothy 5:8. When the man, he said, but if any provide not for his home, and speedily for those of his household, he had denied the faith and is worse than what? An infidel. Can I show you something? Provision for your home, money is involved, provision is involved, but most importantly, any man that cannot provide leadership, somebody say leadership. Do you know you may not have money, but you can use your wife's money to run the home? Quarter no go day. That's leadership. A coach, see, the coach of Ronaldo may not play like Ronaldo. The coach of Messi may not play like Messi. But because the coach has leadership, he can use Messi to do what he wants to do. So as a man, you can win the trophy with your wife and children if you have leadership. Somebody say leadership. And for you to show this leadership, you must refuse to be intimidated by your wife. Inferiority complex is the reason why you are claiming, don't you know I'm the man? Don't you know I'm the man? Don't you know I'm the man? You have a complex problem. Complex problem. That's why some men will never allow their wife to work. So when she start handing money now, she will not respect me again. So your wife is boxed in a box. If it's your own principle in your marriage, please keep it up. But the truth is, there is a day you will come to realize that multiple streams of income is a strength in family stability. If God has helped you and you are graced, you are making so much that can take care of the home. So you are taking care of the home front, and then you need somebody to take care of the house. It's different. Why marriages or family struggle is communication problem. Learn to talk with your wife. Talk with your husband. Talk with your children. Talk. 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 Don't try to hide it. In fact, don't lose the first love in your marriage. You know the way both of you were when you just got into this marriage. Not now that you have given birth to 4, 5, 3 children. Otherwise, learn to talk. It's not a bad thing. Develop friendship with your husband, friendship with your wife, so that you can talk about certain things. A young guy and the girlfriend came to my office. They are planning to get married. And we got talking. I asked them, are you friends? Are you friends? They say, yes, they are friends. I say, you share things in common, they talk, you do this. They say, yes. I say, okay, fine. If both of you are in a room, I mean, somewhere you are talking, and then, hello, sister. Mess. Is it mess? Fat, hold you. Can you release it? I said to the young man, imagine this lady just fat for way too often a day. Are you sure you will not go spiritual? I'm not talking of deliberate. I'm talking of the tea just come alive. It will take a friend to encourage you and still build your confidence, because the lady will be shy. Not tell her, don't worry, it's nature. It's normal, you just have to release it. Then you go further to tell her there are even some people in the hospital praying to fat. Are you aware? After setting operation, they say until you mess this thing, they're not going to release you. You build their confidence. Communication. Communication. My wife reminded me of somebody I'm supposed to reach out to financially. And then while we were talking, she sent me the person account. I said, you know some of these people. Tomorrow now, if she started to say, Reverend, if they send me money, even you cannot talk, because if you are talking, they say, what else will you expect? Your wife will always defend him. I say, only send me your account. No, not send. I pushed it to my wife. I said, push it. I prefer to pay the service charge than to face the destiny charge. There are some people you should read. See, the daughter way they shout today for internet. She was once a daughter. Useless. You are exposed when you don't have a flowing relationship with your wife. Talk about it. Have communication. Tell her. So that if anything happens tomorrow, she has records to keep. Because when your wife is strange to your operation, whatever happens to you, there's nothing she can do. Let me close with this. Fathers, don't be good boss, wonderful pastor, and you become a bad father or a bad husband. Charity begins at home.